Hey guys, so I found that book where I got how I draw the head, how I break it down. It's by, his name was on here, oh, Jack Ham. Drawing the head and figure. Here's in the, so I was using like how he does this method, like it's 5 eyes wide, and then he does like an eye diagonal to, and another eye right here to get the bottom of the nose. But I guess he turns the eye sideways. Like, I haven't been doing that. I mean, not for, I haven't looked at this book for years. And anyway, but whatever method gets you to make the head how you want it to look. And yeah, he gets really in depth, like especially with this eyeball thing. Like it kind of protrudes out and it's a big circle for eyes, and he gets that little lip thing there, and the eyelashes. He gets really, and then like all these different kinds of noses, which I would suggest getting this book and then just like redrawing everything that he does in here, just to kind of get a good idea of different faces, facial features, and also different ways to draw at different angles. Anyway, really good book. I like it. I have a bunch of drawing books, and that one I got for the face anyway. I got like a lot out of it. For me, that's what worked to catch on and draw faces. Basically, just like finding these landmarks to the faces, and then like then I figure out how to put them there. So I'm gonna do a couple of I guess little awkward angles of the face. Show okay, I'm gonna put 2 awkward angles, and I'm gonna do how I kind of like troubleshoot to find where the landmarks of all these facial features go, as an example of like how you can use it in any angle. So this one I already broke into sections. I always start off with the egg, and then then I did the line of which way I want the face to be pointing. Alright, then I break this up into the eyeballs, like this is the first eyeball, second eyeball, and then I also really want to pay attention to this curve, because like the face is curved, so I follow along there with these eyes. And then once I get to the 5th eyeball, the edge of the face, I do that to kind of like show that's where it gets kind of flattened. Alright, so then get to this eyeball. I do this one like, okay, and this is also where I try to think of the eyeballs as these like cylinders, which, I mean, I know that, like I was just showing that page, I know that the eyeball is like this, and then like this is the eyeball in your head, and then this is the part of the eye that where the skin goes, and then that's like a lip, and then here's where the hair grows out of the outer lip for your eyelashes, and then it goes into like a tear duct here. Like I get that, but I still like to do eyes like this. Like I kind of make them like a cylinder, and then also think of them because in 3D shapes. So like if this eye is like looking that way, I think of it like it's I don't know what kind of shape that would be, kind of like missile, I guess. So it's like cylinder. And anyway, so I try to think of it more like 3D. And I know that's how it is anatomically correct, but this is how I measure and draw eyeballs like that. I mean, I don't know if you ever seen somebody with like a fake eye, like a glass eye. Their eyes look more like this. They're not in big circles. And that's what I use to justify why I draw the way I draw. Okay, so anyway, yeah, using this 3D shape right here to do the diagonal eyes like that. And then for like the faces that I like to draw, cartoon faces, I do an eye plus a half eye, so like eye and a half, and then I draw that sideways eye. So then this is the bottom of the nose that I do. And then like I've been doing this like this way, so I'm not gonna change right now. So Jack Hamm in his book, he puts the eye like that, but anyway, I do it like this for my for the guy faces. I'm doing a guy face. So the top of the lip would be right here. This is like the philtrum, and then I do one eye for the lips because I draw my I generally draw my guys with thin lips. I mean, I know there's all kinds of different faces that happen in comics and like stuff I draw, so like they're all different also. And then for the girls, I'll do like eye and like a half eye to make their lips like really big and pouty. All right, and then I'll draw 2 eyes for the chin. And like I said, this is just a generic face of like that I go to. All right, so then I'll lighten all this stuff up. Kneaded erasers are the easiest. You could use the other erasers, any eraser really. Okay, so I'm going at this angle, kind of turning that cylindrical eye, and then go into the next one. All right, so I got the eyes, and then I'm gonna draw, for when I start with the eyes anyway. That's funny, I do a lot of this stuff without even thinking about it, but I was trying to break it down like how I go about doing this. I draw the eyes, and then I draw the stuff like the nose coming out of the face, and then the brows coming like out of the face. So the eyes are already like sunken in. Now I'm just drawing the stuff popping out. So this kind of goes up like this for the nose, down that way. Here's the bottom of the nose. So then we connect that, draw the nostrils for that one, and I guess you can kind of see the other nostril for this one. Basically just like another little line. You don't have to draw it there. I'd typically do it just because it adds more nuance to the face to me. Okay, oh yeah, also, so for the brows of the face, I still follow this curve. So I heard Jim Lee explain it like putting, I think, sausages, like a big brow is like a big sausage, so like causes a bunch of shading. So I think of it like sausages, but like 2 of them though, and they're both following this line. So there's like sausage 1, and then sausage 2 would overlap a little bit. And yeah, so like they're still following that line. I know it looks like he's sad right now, but he's not. I guess I could do the eyebrows just to fill that up real quick. This eyebrow tends to connect to this nose area. Right, and then when this eyebrow goes up here on, reaches the top, that's how I do it. And then if you want here, you could draw, like if he's angry or whatever, this is where you like start drawing all the furrows, and lines usually come off of that. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do him resting hero face or villain, I don't know. Alright, so then like right here is where the philtrum starts puffing out off of this line. Alright, and then the lip. Okay, so lips, these are like the corner of the lips. So I'll draw that to reach this area. Area. What was I gonna say about that? I forget. Alright, bottom lip. Kinda, this is where like, I usually put like this lip kind of sticking out a little bit, and this lip I pull it back. So what I mean by that is if I was drawing the side face, there's like the nose, top lip, and bottom lip. So it's goes inward slightly. And then like this side of the, right here, this side of the lip, but on this side, this is where I draw it going inwards in the face, so like you can't see it really, but if you could see it, it would like be lifted up and it would meet this line right here, but it curves. Yeah, so you can't see it right there. This is, yeah, so that's where like doing these drawings over and over really helps out a lot. So then you could kind of, you start thinking more in like 3D and stuff. Kind of like you could just like, it feels like you're sculpting, but you're like drawing. And so practice a lot on that. And when you get to that, when you feel pretty comfortable, like just like if you were to map this out, like you'd be able to see like the lines kind of like going like Hellraiser guy's face. Like you could just map all these lines out. You want to start seeing things in that kind of like form. So then it makes this part a lot easier. But even though you think like I think I'm pretty good at that, just to toot my own horn, but I still have problems. Like I got a comment the other day on YouTube about how like my brows sometimes are like a sticking point. The comment was like way more well written than that, and a really good critique. But anyway, yeah, so just like breaking it all down and then figuring out like why, you know, your stuff doesn't may look wonky to you. Falling back on these steps help you out a lot. And yeah, like I said, I like these ones because they just catch on to it a lot easier. So anyway, yeah, okay, I already drew this ear in. I didn't mean to just go right into that. So here's the eye, the curve, and then like I go straight back, and then so that's the eye. There's the eyebrow. So I typically put ears somewhere in the middle of there, and to me that looks good. Okay, and then I put the bottom, just like everybody else, I'm pretty sure like they all do this, like the bottom of the ear matches the bottom of the nose, and top of the ear kind of meets in the middle of the eye and the eyebrow. And that should be fine. Okay, then yeah, like right here is where I'd put the jaw and then connect it to the chin that we just found through the what do you call those, landmark finders, determiners. All right, so that's, and then I just have to draw this neck because I think it looks kind of weird. The neck's, or it looks like a floating head, and it looks just weird to me. So this might be just like a little bit of a forced habit, I think. All right, so and then just draw the middle of the ear, or some ear detail. I got critiqued on me not drawing ears correctly. I don't think you need to draw them that correctly. As long as someone looks at it and it's like, okay, yep, that's his ear. That's how he draws. Also, I like to sometimes draw little things like that because Michael Turner did that. That's why I do that. Okay, so that's one angle of kind of looking up at a face and using these landmarks to figure out where everything goes. All right, let's go to the second one where the face is where you're looking down at the face. I do the egg. I like the egg. Oh, I forgot about okay, so the egg also. I do an egg here, and then also because you're looking at the side of the face, I add that extra little oval. Like, I showed this in the other video too, but I'll do it again real quick. There's like an oval that goes that way when you're looking sideways at the face, and like the eyeball is right there. So like they have a little back of the head there. However, when I draw guys, I like to give them a much thicker neck, so like this bump is not as that bump doesn't stick out as far. Okay, so anyway, back to looking down at a face. I draw that line. Okay, so that the egg, I kind of draw it like how I think it should be in that direction, and then I'll draw this line. It might work better if you just start off with the line, however you find it comfortable, I guess. Then draw like the top of the head and the eye, and you want the top of the head to the curve, like the top of the curve, anyway, to follow this line, so they're both going in like the same direction. If you really wanted to, you could do that perspective thing, but for this sake, I'm just going to draw everything going in that direction. Like there's no perspective line that they'll need to meet up at. Alright, so then we break this up into the eyes. Let's see, so this one's going farther away, so the eyes get smaller. And okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At this part, I do that curve thing to kind of let me know that this is where the flat area is. Okay, and then here's where I add the like the back of the head. It would be like a oval going that way. I don't add too much of the back of the head. Like I said, for the guys, I try to make it look like they have a big thick neck. And if I add too much of the back of the head, it's gonna look weird when I make their neck really thick. That's just kind of like a feeling out process. Like you'll have to do it a lot of times. To get used to it anyway. And like, you know, even if you do like add way too much and the neck too big, you'll notice, or someone will notice, and then they'll let you know that like, hey man, that doesn't look I don't know, something looks off on that face. Like you can see the back of their head, plus you can see their face. It's like that doesn't really work usually. Unless you got like a monster or mutant or something, I guess. Alright, so anyway, yeah, then I start drawing in the eyes. And since we're looking at the top, we'll see the eyes curve right here a little more. And then it'll curve here less. So it won't exactly be straight unless you want the guy to look sleepy, I guess. All right. Oh yeah, and then for guys, I draw their eyes much less pronounced than the girls' eyes. The girls' eyes I make a little bigger, like I don't know, and I give them a lot of. I already talked about this. I give them like a lot of eyeliner. I just think that looks cool. But okay, so guys, I give them a eyeliner as well, but it's a lot less noticeable. Okay, so then we go do the sideways eyes. We're gonna find the nose, which is a diagonal eye plus a half eye, and then we draw the nose right there. So this is the bottom of the nose. And then we'll go another one. That's the top of the lip. This is both the lips right here. And then, okay, so also since we're looking down on this, these eyes are going to start stacking because they're 3D. So these eyes are going to kind of overlap a little bit because we're looking at this angle downward on them. So yeah, the chin would be like roughly about there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like I said, it's also a lot of trial and error, and drawing from reference, that helps out a lot to help you navigate through this. All right, so then I'll lighten that up a little bit. These are the tools anyway that I use to help me draw the faces that I like to draw. Okay, so this will shoot up here, go around, and this is the nose. I typically like the nose to pop out a little bit at the bottom. Oh, almost lost my curve. Okay, so it's going this way. Drawing the sausages, so I'm going to cover up a lot of that eye. The sausages, eyebrow ridges go along this curve also. Okay, and then, do I want to show the bottom of the nose right there? All right, so the nostril typically goes about toward the edge of the eye, the tear duct area. Goes down like that, and it meets right there. All right, so we won't be able to see the other side of the nose. So then, okay, and then we draw the philtrum shooting out of the bottom of the nose here. And then also with the eyes, instead of this direction, you want to keep everything in that direction, which that would trip me up many times. It still does sometimes too. So I'm just going to draw the philtrum area following that line. And then middle of the eye is where the lip will typically end. Bottom of the lip. So this lip will sink. Now you kind of see a little bit of it like protruding out there. But it would sink a little farther in the face. So if it popped out, it would like be meeting there. That's how I imagine it in my head anyway. All right, so this is the eye. This will be the edge of the face. Let's see, cheekbone about there, yeah. Bring it down. This part of the face kind of sticks out usually. I forget what kind of muscles those are called, but they're face muscles. All right, so chin is there. Let me I'll give it like a more chubbier face than I intended. Let me fix that. I just won't give him such a pronounced cheekbone this time. But right there will still kind of be following that muscle that kind of goes on the side of this face here. And then the chin will kind of go that way. And I want the chin to go a little farther. Slightly more masculine. If I make the chin a little bigger. This is funny, that's pretty much how I'm kind of floundering through my faces. Alright, so then this is about the halfway point. Let's make this the halfway point. Yeah, it's about right there. Let's go right here. This is about the brow and eye, so make that one go that way. Circle around with the nose. So the circle, this curve goes down here. So you're doing that curve that way, and then once we hit this part, that's where we go straight. And then for the ear, I'll start the top, the bottom, the start of the ear right here, top of the ear kind of hits that line. And then for this, sometimes I'll just draw it even closer, like than that halfway mark. Or you could draw it there. But I just have the habit of making this ears like diagonal. So this will be like the jaw, is how I usually do it. Kind of circle around that jaw motion. Jaw muscle, and then connect. So that kind of looks like a mess right now. I'll finish it up a little bit more. But yeah, so like even these angles when I'm just like trying to go over them, still give me trouble. But when that happens, I kind of revert back to these techniques. So hopefully, like, these will be able to help you guys, or at least give you another option for the whichever method is that you choose. It seems to be it's like the Loomis method is what most people kind of go with, which is a really good one. It's just I like this one. Oh, that's the eyebrow I was doing. I might as well just darken it in. And then for the, like, I'll draw that like a point just because I like drawing my guys with more angular features. I'll do that to kind of emphasize the curve of the nose. Get this geographical topography line off of there. Yeah, eyebrow kind of connects with that nose. Even I just kind of like use that as a rule of thumb, but if you're like looking at some reference and the eyebrow doesn't match up with or go into the nose line, then I would definitely just stick to your reference. All right, so then we'll bring this. I'm gonna fix the eye just a little bit. I'm following like the line, but like even when you follow these lines and you do measure things out, like sometimes it's not exact. Like especially when you're drawing a straight on face, it's tough sometimes to make these like exact line up all the time. Sometimes your eye might be off by a little bit, like it doesn't meet, like it'll be off by that much, and then you don't notice it till, I don't know, after you already drawn the whole thing. But using these measuring tools is definitely helpful. And yeah, like I mess up quite a bit with trying to get everything symmetrical. Okay, I'm gonna make that a little more angular just because I feel in my heart that's how it should be. I'm kidding. Okay, so then this I'm kind of following the phase. Here's more of the little crackly deals. And then if you want to emphasize this a little, because this kind of follows the turning of the face like this, and here's a little muscle, but also sometimes like I guess these like frowning muscles or whatever that move around the lips. There's like a bunch of muscles that move around the lips. If you want to do a little more indenting in there, looks cool to me anyway. Let's see, I was going to draw a little kind of thing like that to give a little bit of form to the eye. And then, okay, so there'd be like this little bit of skin here that kind of folds up. And then I'll do this to do a little bit of that topography. But I don't do like a whole bunch of it. Like that, in fact, that one line that I didn't quite erase is still bothering me right there. There we go. So I'll take off some of them topographical lines. Okay, and then, so this is cheekbone. You can kind of like ride out the cheekbone right there, but I mean, it's not always that pronounced. What am I doing right there? Because that's where the cheekbone also goes, but you don't typically see that. Here's the kind of like the ridge of your skull. It kind of goes inwards a little bit right here for how like I like to emphasize the face, and then it kind of pops out again right here with that big muscle on the side of your head. So a little bit of an indent right there. I'll just let the coloring handle that, whether if I'm doing it or if I have a colorist, then they could follow that. Oh yeah, okay, and then from the top of the head, I go like 2 eyeballs down, and that's where let me straighten that out a little bit. Okay, so I'll go to the middle of it, right there, and then that's where I'll draw the eyes. I don't want to just make it completely haphazardous when it gets there. But you could also, if you want to, you could not even use these, you just kind of eyeball it. But I'll do that sometimes, and then follow the head around. And like I like to have guys have slightly receding hairlines, like in the corners, whereas the girls, I would have it connecting much more, like right there. But because he's a dude, I'm gonna do that. And then it's kind of like a little step. I just follow it like that for the hair. I mean, it doesn't have to be like that. That's one of the ones also that I'm kind of like not too particular on. I think I'm curved that in just a little too much. I want to follow the roundness of his head a little more. Put it right there. All right, ear. Jaw. So that would be his back of his head. I'll just give this guy a quick crew cut. Like, I don't want to spend too much time drawing the waves and curls of his hair. So, all right, yeah, so the hair kind of grows off of the head, so it'll stick out a little bit. And then I like to draw thicker necks, so it'll be about there. Let's draw his Adam's apple first. About there. And then, I don't know if this is a tendon or if that's a muscle, but typically goes like right about there on the ear. And so this tendon thing, muscle, whatever, it also will pop out a little bit right here. I'll draw something like that to indicate that there's it goes inward and then comes back out right there. So, that part is, I mean, it's optional. You don't have to do that. I just, like I said a bunch of times before, I just don't like drawing like a floating head. It's like I gotta have at least a neck or something on there. And then if I was gonna go here, I'd add the shoulder. And then if I was I'd draw through sometimes to follow this trap, be right there, and then his other shoulder would be like right here, going through. All right, so that's how I draw with that at angles anyway, and how I use this kind of guideline principle that I guess I Frankensteined together from Jack Ham's book. But that book is really helpful. I would suggest going into it and drawing like just opening the pages, draw what you see, cover it up, draw it from memory. I think that would be very beneficial. Also, yeah, so I like to draw these guys also with like a little bit of like thicker eyes, like a little eyeliner. Like, also in that comment that I got a little bit ago, which was a good critique. I understand where the person was coming from with like so here's the eye hiding underneath this this brow sausage. So there would be like a little bit of eye lip right there that you'd kind of see. I'm over pronouncing it, I think. Let me sharpen up this pencil. So I'll do on this eye. This there'd be like a little bit of a lip that you would see there, and there'd be like maybe there'd be some light there, so you'd kind of like erase there to kind of like indicate that there's some light shining, like right there. And then like the tear duct would be roughly there. You maybe wouldn't even be able to see it because at that angle it kind of goes back inward into the head. But like sometimes I'll do this, especially if I'm drawing like an older person. I'd like to give them as much lines as I can on their face, and like I'll draw that too, just to, like I said, show as much lines as I can, which makes typically makes people think that that's an old person. But I just don't like that. I don't know. Right now, I kind of think like that skin lip there. It looks gross. So what I'm doing my cartoon style, Like, I don't typically like to include that in there, and then do the little eyelash things right here on the side. Anatomically, I know that's correct. Oh, and then this was also protrude out a little bit because the way the eye is shaped. But anyway, yeah, so anatomically, I know that's correct, but I just don't like to do that. So that's my, so anyway, yeah, so that's another way that I draw. I hope you found this very beneficial. Thanks for watching. Also, check out my comic, Occult Descent. I launched on Kickstarter. The link's in the description below.